Oh my. Well, I guess they grow pretty fast. Well, hello everybody, my name is Shenko and welcome back to the Minecraft Survival Series, episode 22. I hope you all are well. So if you remember the last episode, I was here looking over these turtles while I was building up the cliffs. And to my surprise, the turtles actually grew up pretty big. However, there are some eggs that haven't hatched yet, and usually you have to wait until about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. At the midpoint of where the moon is, the turtle eggs would hatch at a faster rate. And so when I was building the cliffs at night, all these turtles decided to hatch. And they are now big, and we finally have their scoots. So if I take out a crafting table right here, I can then use these scoots to make the turtle shell helmet. Now you can't see it right now because I have a mod that hides the armor, but if I toggle that off, there it is. Look how goofy we look. We actually look kinda goofy. So the turtle shell helmet is pretty cool, although I'll keep my netherite helmet on for the moment. And since these guys are all grown up, I'm just gonna wait for those eggs to hatch and we'll get more scoot from them. You know what? This little beach area underneath the island does lend itself pretty well for a turtle sanctuary. So maybe that's on our ideas list. We can probably take advantage of that and we can build this little area into a turtle sanctuary. You know, I never really thought of that, but much like most of my ideas, they are very impromptu and I never usually plan all this. So the turtle sanctuary looks pretty good so far. I have a little ladder that comes all the way down like this. Straight from the cliff. Doesn't need to be any sort of stairs whatsoever because this is our turtle sanctuary. Now I might also add a few palm trees here, but the beach feels very small and compact and these turtles seem to be enjoying themselves here, especially with a really large cherry tree above. Now in past episodes, I talked about revamping the cherry trees around the area and I managed to experiment with this in particular. So my first test didn't go so badly. I mean, it's alright. It looks quite decent actually. I tried using the cherry wood along with the nether bricks. But apart from minor decorations, what are we going to get on with today's episode? Well, I am very glad you asked. See, what we're going to do today is quite possibly the most dangerous form of farm building I have ever done in the history of Minecraft. And that is a wither skeleton farm. In the past of me hunting for wither skeletons, I have a normal Nether Fortress that I boxed up in a soul sand valley, and that's where I grab my wither skeletons from. And that's how you see the beacon beams shoot up through the mega base itself. But wither skeleton farms are actually very useful besides the wither skeleton heads. They provide coal, which is going to mean infinite fuel source. And well, I want to challenge myself. I've never really built a wither skeleton farm, so it'll be fun. Now first things first, I'm going to need something that we haven't used yet. Let's grab a bit of glowstone. And then we can create a respawn anchor because that will be very useful for us in the nether. I'm gonna bring over a bit of carpet because I feel like this would be useful. I am gonna bring all of this tinted glass with me. I am gonna also bring some blocks that I don't intend on building with at the moment, so I'm gonna be bringing the 3 boxes of diorite. You know what? I just realized most of our tools are actually on their last limbs, including our bow, our infinity bow, which I am going to repair right now. You know what? A shulker box full of fire resistant potions should be fine. But also I remember doing something in particular when I was fighting one of the withers, and I think I hid the most important stuff that you need for a wither skeleton farm in my starter house. which chest is it? I'm not too sure. There it is. We have all the wither roses here. I fought the wither a while back and I spawned a bunch of chickens. And so when I fought that wither, when the chickens were all matured, they left all the wither roses. So right here I have about 9 stacks of wither roses. And these will be very useful in building our wither skeleton farm. Right, so I don't think I told you all about where are we building this wither skeleton farm. Well, in between episodes, I've been going around the nether just, exploring, just looking around at places, since we already collected most of the armor trims. But I came across a nether fortress that could possibly be the ideal place to build a wither skeleton farm. So, let's go into the nether and I'll show you guys where we are. And there it is. Smack dab in the middle of a warp forest lies this nether fortress. And this would be the perfect place to build a wither skeleton farm. So for those of you who are not really familiar with wither skeleton farms in a nutshell, it's essentially a place that, oh gosh, they already seen us. Ow. So the reason I chose this nether fortress in particular, it's because it is smack dab in the middle of a warped forest. And the only mobs that spawn in a warped biome is those endermen right over there. And because it's only endermen in the warped forest, you would see a lot more wither skeletons spawning about. So that's why I'm choosing this nether fortress in particular to build our wither skeleton farm. Now that does mean it's going to be very dangerous, but thankfully we prepared. I will, however, be downing my first fire resistant potion just so I can show you guys what it looks like all the way down there. Where'd you go? I'm right here. So that's why nether fortresses in a warped biome are usually the best places to build wither skeleton farms. Ow. Hey, stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. I just realized I forgot to turn up my hostile creature sounds from the enderman farm. So now we should be able to hear them just fine. But right here, I'm going to turn this place into my home base of sorts. First things first, we're going to block off this area, and we're also going to block off this area. And next, we are going to take the first steps in, hopefully, preventing this place from being overrun with mobs. We'll bring out a stone cutter. We'll bring out the blocks that we intend on using, and we turn them all into slabs. And we'll just place them all over the nether fortress. One more thing I should be doing as well is that I should take out the respawn anchor, and I should fill that up with glowstone. I never quite used these before, but these are pretty cool. Now what I gotta do is I gotta try my best to clear out this area, because I'm going to be building the farm in between these two crossroads right here. And if any of these wither skeletons get in my way, it's gonna spell a lot of hell. I'm going to have to clear out a lot of this terrain right here just to be safe. This is why I said this is going to be the most dangerous project we're ever going to do. So we're going to need to take a lot of precaution. And so we began the precarious job of placing down all our diorite slabs all around the nether fortress. We are trying to prevent spawns all around the nether fortress and focus them onto the farm. Listen, I have no idea why I decided to do this. I was here for 2 whole days with so many fireballs being fired at me by all the blazes right there. But hey, if you want to build the most efficient farm that you can, you go to the most dangerous place out there. But placing down all the diorite slabs was pretty straightforward, just placing them all around the farm and making sure nothing spawns in the vicinity of the nether fortress. And right there in that box, I decided to build the farm itself between those two crossroads as I explained it before. Pretty straightforward. And oh, would you look at that, a nice little ride with a piglin. And we should be going back to the present now. Well, that was very dangerous and very exhilarating, but we managed to slab off most of the Nether Fortress right there. Of course, we still have a little bit of ways to go, but we'll get to that eventually. For now, the nearest areas to the farm are slabbed off and we shouldn't have any mobs spawning around this vicinity. Now coming down to the farm, I managed to box up these two cross lanes right here, which should be able to spawn wither skeletons all within this platform right here. Now the reason I have it in slabs is because eventually, let me just break my way in. The reason I have slabs on top is because I had to put netherrack down. And the reason is... How did you get here? No. Yeah. Anyways, regardless of that dude right there, I've currently been working on the chute that's going to funnel all our wither skeletons down into the killing chamber. As we fly on down, this is the killing chamber. Very simple, just hoppers underneath where the wither skeletons will fall on. I'll whack their shins and we'll gather all their drops in this right here. It is kind of convenient that the drop chute is right in between of this pillar of the Nether Fortress, so it makes it easy for us to just dig through, but we also have a lot of space underneath, so if we ever want to expand the storage and make a sorter, we can easily do that. For now, I am gonna fly up here because we still have a bit of ways to go before we actually activate the farm. Now first things first, we gotta make sure that the wither skeleton bait is going to be safe and sound inside this little pocket of area right here. So I think this should be fine, although I'll add this. And then I'll add a trapdoor like this. So I think that should be fine. Just so nothing spawns on top of the bait. But we should be fine like this. Now we're not going to be removing that slab in the middle because that slab contributes to making sure that the bait stays in line for all the wither skeletons to be able to find the bait. We gotta make sure that we use walls instead for this. So I don't think the wither skeletons can get to the bait even if they wanted to, and if they try to go this way, they'll just fall down. So I think the bait should be safe. I might have forgot to bring a name tag over. Unless... Do we have any? I'm trying to see if... We do have a name tag at least some. We do! Okay, thank goodness. Bring out that name tag. Okay. Thank goodness we had this extra bundle in here. The bait. So if we make our way over here, I managed to catch a lone piglin right here. Now comes the tricky part where I have to drive him all the way back there. I hope this is going to be fine, but before all this, let me just rename you Bait. Alright buddy, you ready to head across? That's my boy. This is fine. This is fine. This is fine. There you go. He's in. Okay. Close that up. Now he should... Poor guy. Thank you for your stuff. Now you are going to be very important for this farm. Alright? The bait. Right, we have the bait in. Now comes the moment of truth. We now have to remove all the slabs and put all the wither roses in. It's gonna be very dangerous, but I believe we can do it. And that is the last wither rose. Now comes the moment of truth. It seems to be working. It seems to be working well. So now that the piglin is slightly lower, we should be able to get more wither skeletons focusing on the piglin itself. That should be working. It should be working right now. And so... Ooh, okay. We seem to be getting a better rate of farm right here. Although the bones are falling off, but that should be fine. Well, I guess the farm is working now, thankfully. Now, it's not producing the rates as of right now because, well, we still have a long ways to go in terms of spawn-proofing the Nether Fortress, but with a little bit of elbow grease, I think we should be fine. So let's go do that now, shall we? Why, hello there. It is intermission, Shen. Saving you the trouble of watching myself place down some more diorite slabs, I decided to shorten it into an intermission. Hey folks, welcome back, and after a bit of elbow grease, we managed to spawn-proof even more of the Nether Fortress here, so our spawns in the Wither Skeleton Farm should be much better. I've been spending a bit of time, a few hours, just within this area, and I've also had a chance to use the farm. And if you come down here... Oh dear. I think they... Yep, they're entity cramming, so I guess we'll put them out of their misery. As you can see, the Wither Skeleton Farm seems to be very effective. Oh look, there's more skulls. Look, there's more skulls. Very nice. And what do we get from all our hard work? Oh boy. That is... Wow, that is a lot. I mean, we can get rid of the swords, but... Wow. That is a lot of bones and coal. We are basically set for the rest of the survival series because... Wow. 34 heads as well. You know what? We'll take that. And within a bit of time later, more wither skeletons drop down into the chute, and I'll whack them all with my sword. So I guess Project Wither Skeleton Farm is a success. Although there are a few improvements that we can make in the future. Maybe sometime later we can expand the platform so that we can have an automatic sorting system and also utilize the crafter to craft up coal blocks and bone blocks like we have. Oh, there's 2 more skulls here. Don't mind if I do. But yeah, I'm going to have to expand the platform a lot more so that we can build a sorting system to sort out the skulls, the stone swords, the coal, and the bones. But that should be pretty simple. And we can use the crafter to craft the coal into coal blocks and the bones into bone meal into bone blocks. The bait, you are doing an amazing job right there, buddy. Honestly, keep up the good work. I will be back and I'll give you a raise as well. Thank you, bait. Alright, let's head back, shall we? Oh, much better to be out in the sun. Oh man, this is amazing. Finally back home. And I feel fantastic. So we are now back at the mega base after building the Wither Skeleton Farm, and I want to get into another building project on this island right here. Now right here, I do intend on building something, but I'm not going to tell you guys what that is, because I have a problem. See, right here is our chicken coop. As you can see, our chickens are relatively well taken care of. Of course, the ground has been packed on a lot, and so we need to relocate these chickens to a much more lush and nutritious grassy area. And I was thinking that with the building that I'm planning to have right here on the corner of the island, and with the path right here, I want it to lead up into this building right here. The only problem is that the chicken coop is right here. Oh, look who decided to show up as well. What do you sell? Okay, not too bad, but I don't... Okay, you got drip leaf, hang on. Thank you. You know what, seeing as that area over there is meant to be a much quieter area and I want to relocate the chickens, our barn is right here. And we have this little bit of space right here. If I take out my hoe and I clear out this patch of moss right here, this hunk of land could be used to house our chickens and build another chicken coop for our chickens to be right next to the other livestock such as our mushrooms and our llamas that we have down here. I guess we found the right spot to place our chickens at. Alright, let's get to work then, shall we? Right, so that doesn't look that bad for a chicken coop for the moment. We do have more nests right here. We do have these little cloth pieces that go in front in case the chickens want to sleep soundly. They are away from any dangers. We do have some fresh food and water for them. They can even go out here and graze very naturally. And it is a very calming place next to the barn right here. So I'd say the chicken coop is now done. All that's left to do is just to move in the chickens. You're gonna have to follow me. Alright? You two and you two. Follow me. Right, welcome to your new home. Although I haven't put in the door yet, so bear with me for a little bit as I put you all right here for now. Alright, you lot. You are now free to explore your new area. Enjoy your new chicken coop area. Feel free to roam around. What? We got 6 eggs. We got a chick. And that's all we're gonna get. Okay, that's fine. Now with our project being right here, the chicken coop now being empty, we can now go through and tear down the chicken coop. Oh, excuse me. Oh, that was even worse. Damn. Sorry about that. And after a bit of time, we managed to get rid of the old chicken coop and level out the land a little bit more. Yes, right now it's only grass, but once the build is done, I'll come through and texture the land a lot more with moss and podzol of any kind. Now a lot of the buildings around this island are mainly simple color combinations, brown and green for the barn. We had red roofs for our storage farmhouse. We have the starter house, which also has the red roof. Now this build that I have planned right here is going to be a little bit different from what we've already established right here on our East Asian inspired island. And if you take a look in the shulker boxes right here, we have a whole bunch of tuff with some moss. We got some blue blocks right here, warp stem, dark prismarine, and some prismarine bricks. We have the wood that I'm going to be using, mangrove, bamboo, and dark oak. We have a few bits and bobs right here. And we have a lot of bone blocks from the Wither Skeleton farm that is producing a lot of bones, which then I had to craft into bone blocks. So much like my other larger builds in my Minecraft videos, I'm going to put this into the form of a time-lapse, just so you all will be able to see what I'm going to be building right here. So get comfortable, grab your favorite drink, and sit back and relax as I build this wonderful building on the edge of my island. Ready? Let's do this. And would you look at that? Absolutely wonderful. I have constructed a temple out on this corner of our East Asian island, and doesn't this place look peaceful? Very much so. I actually really love how the build turned out. It was very weird for me to go with a whole bunch of different colors. You can see the block palette that I used with the stripped mangrove wood, the prismarine bricks, the bamboo wood, as well as the dark oak trims around the temple, and it looks amazing. I love the hints of color around, and they just work. That's the most important thing, they just work. Now it is built on a base of tuff. As you can see, we have the regular tuff, the chiseled tuff bricks, the chiseled tuff, the smooth tuff, with the subtle hints of these wind marks right here. As you can tell, I'm very excited for wind chargers coming in 1.21. Right here, I've been planting a few bits of bamboo, and you can see that some of them have some string on them. I am not that big of a fan of putting string on bamboo. I would much rather let it just grow up like this, but at the same time, I wouldn't want the bamboo to overshadow the temple itself, and so that's why I decided to put string on it. Yes, up close you can see the string, but up from afar it should be fine. And right next to the bamboo trees, we have two wonderful cherry trees, custom made for this area. They are just beautiful. There are petals falling down as you walk underneath them, you walk around the temple. It is just peaceful. Now you step into the temple itself, and you can see I have a very simple interior. First of all, a lantern hanging from above with the banners of the East Asian island itself, along with a copper bulb in the middle. And right over here we have a few shelves with some candles right here to serve as sort of praying places. So as I said many times, I'm Asian Chinese, and usually we are in these temples during Qingmingjie, which is a festival to pray for the dead. And usually we will go over to temples and visit our loved ones who are not with us anymore. And so that's why we light candles here, to give thanks and to pray for good health for our loved ones. But the most impressive thing is that if you come towards the entrance of the temple, just look out into the temple itself. There is literally no obstructions in all three of the other walkways right here. It just looks like it's infinite into the sky. And that's why this foundation was really important to lift this temple out, and so we can only see the sky. Now if we walk forward a bit, as you can see, our mob farm is right there, which yes, it is a little bit of an eyesore, but I'll deal with that later. But if you look out this doorway, you can see the sky, the sea, and also a nice little cherry tree right there. Now I'm not too sure what to put in this area just yet. Maybe a little shrine area, but we'll get to that at a later date. For now, I love how peaceful the interior is, so much detail, and it all makes sense. I love how the colors all blend together, and I've learned this from Pearlescent Moon. Dark ceiling, brighter floor. So all your attention gets brought down towards the floor. Very cool. But I really love how this temple turned out. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below, as this is my first time experimenting with all different colors on this island, and I might try this out more often throughout this entire island, experimenting with more colors and more details all around the builds. So what do you guys think? Do you like the pops of color we're using right here? Is it a little bit too much? Maybe, but I'm happy with it, and that's all that matters. I hope you are too. Let me know in the comments how you feel about this build. But anyways everyone, that's gonna be it for episode 22 of the Minecraft Survival series. I really hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like and subscribe to follow along the journey with me. And as always, my name is Shenko. Thank you so much for watching this video. Take care of yourselves, be nice to one another, and I will see you in the next video. Until we meet again. Later!